Hi everyone, it's Agata from Simply Grow. I'm going to record a quick video for our toolkit, parenting toolkit, something I've been thinking about quite a lot recently, and something that came up in quite a few things that I've read and listened to from different psychologists, trying to explain different behaviors. So basically what it's about is how we get annoyed sometimes, or we show emotions or reactions that we're not very proud of towards our little ones. So different things that annoy us about their behavior. So to give an example with Amy, one of the things that has been quite annoying recently has been the squeaking noises she makes. I call them squeaky noises, but really it's just the whinging. And it's always trying to bring ourselves back and think, why am I getting annoyed about that? And obviously what you do have control over is your reaction to it. So you can't control your child's behavior, you can't control really your first reaction to it internally, how you feel about it, but you can control how you react to it externally. But many psychologists and different clever people I listened to and read recently say that the fact that we get annoyed with our child about certain things is because someone was getting annoyed with us when we were at that stage and was given us the reaction we are given now. So to give an example, if you are relatively fine with your child eating and being a bit messy with their eating at home, but then you absolutely freak out when they do the same behavior, when they're being messy with their food outside, it's probably because someone was getting annoyed with you when you were little and you were doing that. If you are fine with your child singing loud songs at home, but when you go to the shopping center or when you go outside and your child sings and doesn't bother anyone apart from you, you get externally really agitated and annoyed about it. That's probably because someone was giving you that reaction. That was the trigger for someone else when you were little. So psychologists now say that even behaviors when we were babies that we wouldn't remember, that we got a specific reaction for, this is the reaction we are giving our babies now. And if you do have a toddler showing specific behavior and you are reacting in it just completely automatically, it's the kind of reaction you were given when you were a toddler, and so on and so forth. So and to make it even more not complicated, but to actually explain it even more, so if your parents were giving you a specific reaction when you were a child, it's probably because they were given that reaction when they were children. So as you can see, it's kind of vicious circle. So it's like a big chain made of those links, and it's all connected. So the reaction your child receives from you automatically now is the kind of reaction that your grandparents were receiving from their parents. That makes sense. So it's quite difficult to change it if you don't realize that you are doing it, but once you do, you can be that link that is going to change the chain. Okay, so try to control your emotions, your reactions to your child's behaviors. Obviously some things are just annoying, but how we react to them, we've got control over it. So just to give an example from something that I've been looking at and not analyzing, but something that I realized I was doing. So with your little ones, even when they are confident walkers, runners, they would often trip over their own feet, and it's not their fault. It is completely related to their body coordination at certain age. It's not 100% developed yet. So Amy, even though she's 4 and she is the fastest runner I know, she would often trip over her own feet. And I actually realized, because I was getting quite annoyed about it, controlling it obviously and saying, are you okay, rather than jumping, saying, oh, what are you doing? So I was proud with how I reacted, but I was trying to internalize it and think, why am I reacting in that way? Why does that annoy me so much, the fact that she walks and she trips? Because to be fair, like it's I know why she does it physically and developmentally, and I know how to respond to it in a way that it's not destructive but constructive. So the first thing I would say is, are you okay? But inside me, that sometimes it just pushes the button in a really weird way. And I actually remembered thinking about it, that my mum did that. She was actually quite vocal whenever me or my sister tripped at that age. And my sister was, she was just the tripper. So she would really trip over invisible things in her own legs, her own feet. But it wasn't her fault, and now I know it. But the reaction she was getting for it and I was getting for it was quite strong, to say the least. So I think it's just one example, and just realizing that if I don't change it, if I don't work on that myself, this is the kind of reaction Amy would give to her children if she has them, or when she has them, because this is the reaction she got from me. So I think as much as our little ones are sometimes pushing our buttons, let's try to stop and think why those buttons are being pushed, why the buttons are there in the first place. And that seems to explain quite a lot. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you do have any examples of your own experiences that something just really triggers the part of you that you don't like, you're not proud of, because now you remember maybe there was something in your childhood that your adults, caregivers reacted in a certain way, please share. It'll be fascinating to hear more about it. But I hope you found that useful. So next time you react or you find something really annoying or irritating, try to stop and think, because our reaction is the one thing we do have control over. If your little one throws tantrums, throw themselves on the floor, it is difficult and it would annoy a saint. So don't kick yourself about, being frustrated about different behaviors, but sometimes it's easy to explain them and to take control over. So those behaviors, those situations don't control you, but you are in the driving seat, in the control, as much as possible. Hope you found it useful. I'll add it to our toolkit series, and watch out for more. Bye.